On today's episode of Phinside The NFL, it's the 5th annual regular season roundtable. I'll be joined by Richmond, Webb, Mr. BallGame, Martin Ukpai, DouglieDoWrong, Neal Driscoll, Kevin Dern, and of course, Brittney of Sideline T. So we are going to give our season predictions. We are going to give some bold takes, and we are going to talk about the regular season that is only a few days away from starting. So do me the favor, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into this.
Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score! Field down the near side, that open, touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. He's got it for a touchdown again! Touchdown!
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go! What is good, Finn Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Man, I can't believe I've been doing this for 5 years. This is the 5th annual regular season roundtable. Where does time go? My daughter was 1 year old, and now I sent her off to grade 1 today. Crazy. So appreciate all of you for joining in. Appreciate everyone coming up here. We got Richmond, BallGame. He's fuming off that FSU start. I'll tell you one thing. We got Brittney from Sideline T. We got Martin, who every Tuesday night you can catch me and him starting next week up again to a Tuesdays where we break down every single drop back of Tua Tagovailoa. DouglieDoWrong, the homie. Neal Driscoll from Fin Too Deep, and Kevin Dern from Dolphins Talk. How is everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Not all at one. Not all at one.
Ladies first.
I was waiting.
Yeah.
Everything's copacetic, man.
Yeah.
All good.
Better than BallGame.
Definitely better.
I almost hit you earlier, Reason, and told you, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna be available. I was headed to Tallahassee, bro. Going to Mike Norville's front door, I'm telling you, bro.
I mean, whoever thought the drop off from Jordan Travis to this would be this steep, huh? Oh man, craziness. So guys and gal, we are only a few days away from the opening game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's start. How are you feeling heading into this game? Let's start with you, Neal. How are you feeling heading into week 1 with the Jags? It seems like Ramsey getting new money is imminent, and and you look at that injury report that came out today, we've got a whole laundry list, and they've got like 2 guys on it or 1 guy on it. So they're fully healthy. How you feeling heading into this week?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? No, I feel good. I think we have too much firepower for the Jacksonville secondary. I've seen Vegas. I think they have Tua kind of ranked at I've seen a lot of people betting the over on the 266 passing yards, and if that comes to fruition, I think it's a good day for Miami. I texted you this. I had heard some rumblings that there's a chance that Ramsey doesn't play in this game. I could see them trying to protect him here and not play, and it kind of sucks because Jacksonville's the team that drafted him, and I feel like a player like that could get up for that. But I expect the Dolphins to handle their business at home, right? The Jacksonville Jags fall into that category that the Dolphins get credit for beating the teams they're supposed to. Well, at home, coming off the offseason with the disappointment in their mouth from last year, to me, I don't know if week 1's a must win, but I think you want to set the tone for the season. And Tua got paid, Tyreek got paid, Waddle got paid, McDaniel got paid. Like all these guys got their big bank accounts now Now let's go execute on the football field and leave that game 1-0 by any means necessary.
How you feeling, Richmond? I mean, this must take you back. You remember you getting revved up for week ones back when you were a player. Oh, by the way, if you haven't checked out Richmond Webb starring in the new Fish Tank Iconic video,
Right.
we're up here with a movie star right now.
No, don't do that.
Hey? Hey?
Man, how's everybody doing? There go Reasley starting up. You already got BallGame hot. Now you trying to get me going.
You got BallGame hot.
I did. By mistake.
Energy on me.
I was pissed off about my Aggies, and I thought I could talk to BallGame about it, but he took it to another level. I'm not saying nothing else. I'm trying to let it cool down a little bit. But I always feel good about opening day. I can just remember when I played, and even the last few years, typically I'm not really concerned the first few games because the Dolphins normally, by the time the season starts, they're ready to go, this and that, and they're playing their best football. So I'm counting with Neal. This should be a game that we should win. And I think Tua will have over 266 yards. I didn't know that's what it was, but I think we're gonna come out on fire and be ready to go. So no, I feel good, just ready to go, and I'll be down for the game. So I hadn't been down for opening game, so it'll be good. So looking forward to that as well.
You better come out for that Raiders game too, eh? Especially if BallGame's in one of these moods. I'm gonna need someone to help me, eh? He looks like he just went to Home Depot. What's going on, BallGame? Come on. Douglie, how you feeling? I know you just dropped your predictions video on your channel. How you feeling heading into this game?
I'm feeling pretty good. I know their secondary isn't too great. Like Neal said, we should torch them. For me, it's ETN worrying about stopping the run. We don't know what this rush defense is going to look like without Wilkins. But I like what I saw in preseason. I like the way they attack the ball. I like the way they swarm and everything. And, that was a lot of vanilla defense. So I'm very interested to see. Trevor Lawrence comes out and says, we were watching the Ravens defense last year to see what Dolphins are running. We're not even running that defense. We're running like a completely different amalgamation of defenses. So I have a feeling we're getting Trevor Lawrence's head. But, our secondary's worrying me a little bit. But outside of that, I still think we'll win, and I think we'll win by more than 7.
How you feeling, Britt?
I feel great. We're going to be there. It's my daughter's first game. Super pumped about that. I think I'm pretty confident that we're going to win this. It's opening at home. We should win it. Feeling good.
Yeah, because if we don't, I'm going to tell you this right now. If they do not handle business on Sunday, and then you got to turn around on a short week against the Buffalo Bills, you cannot start the season 0-2. I don't care what you tried to sell me on that. It just, you can't. And this is the one you got to handle your business. Kevin, how you feeling? I know you got some serious, legitimate concerns. The run defense has already been brought up. I know you got concerns about the run defense and how it's going to be this year. Where are you at with this game?
I feel pretty confident that Miami should handle business and get a win on Sunday. Really, to me, it's just get to the bye, and after that's kind of when they really need to pick it up, just based on how they've been in the past under McDaniel. I'm not too concerned about the first 5 games. I think they should be 3-2 at worst. Probably 4-1 is probably fair, I think.
Mm-hmm. We all know what loss you're talking about.
Probably not. Check my record.
I do, because I put the images together, so I know. Martin, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man.
FYI, it's for the 3rd or 4th year in a row. Martin has the worst record out of all of us, so no surprise to anyone. So how are you feeling? Yeah, hey, look, don't worry. Man, we're gonna get into it in a second and put you on blast. But how are you feeling?
I try to be as objective,
and
realistic as possible. But man, it's good. I feel good. I know what this season is gonna mean, to our fan base and to the team, as far as what was the turning point. No different than how the Seattle Seahawks were back in 2012. No different than how all these other teams where you know exactly what year that turning point happened. that's what I'm waiting to see this year, man. And
Mm-hmm.
if they get over that hump, watch out,
Yeah.
man, because we're
Yeah.
loaded. We're loaded.
Yeah. I agree. All right, so did I ask BallGame? I think he gave me no. Oh, okay. Go ahead, BallGame. Save the best for last. Go ahead.
Well,
brother.
I think we can all say that the expectations have been set out in front of this team, and they've done, I think, a masterful job of, to some degree, putting this roster together and trying to ensure that there's a good blend of veteran and young talent to ensure that the longevity of what they're starting in this process is going to be able to sustain itself. I don't have a lot of concerns about this game, to be honest with you. I don't think that the Jaguars are structured properly to be able to deal with the offensive firepower that we can put on the field. To be truthful with you, I think defensively, I believe that they'll gel when they need to. I don't think they'll be overly bad against the run, but I don't think Jacksonville's a team that's going to really be able to press that issue for us in week 1. So, and Trevor talking about us running some, him saying that we're going to be running stuff from last year when we got a whole new defense coordinator, just tells you right then at that point they have no idea what we're going to present in terms of fronts and coverages and things of that nature. I think Trevor will be Trevor. He's going to give us a couple opportunities. Secondary can gain some much needed confidence boost if Ramsey doesn't go. In regards to that thing, because he's the turnover king, and then we just go about handling business and get prepared for Buffalo. I think that's the game that matters the most to us right now, because that's the monkey that's always beating us in the back of our head. So we got to get that one off of our back. Jacksonville is just a tune-up for the real game, which is the week 2 game for me. So I think we'll be just fine.
All right. So without further ado, let's get into the predictions here. And then I'm going to ask you guys, I want to hear some takes from you guys on the season and stuff like that. So let me pull this up right here. Boom. All right. Martin 10-7, eh? Look at this guy. Who's this guy think he is? Unbelievable. Oh, I don't want to block that. Okay. So 10-7, Martin. He starts us starting 1-2. So he's really optimistic about the start of the season for the Dolphins. You got us losing to Buffalo. You got us losing to Seattle. You got us losing to brother. Come on, Arizona. You don't remember 2020 Tua? Kyler Murray wouldn't even shake his hand. He walked off the field. The LA Rams, the Green Bay Packers, Cleveland, and New York. Surprisingly, a lot of us have the LA Rams and the Cleveland losses when we're going to get into everyone's here. Your thoughts on this schedule? 10-7, brother. Come on.
I'm gonna try to make it as short and quick and sweet as possible. That Buffalo game, like BallGame said, until we beat them, hey, put an L on there, man. I'm just saying. The week after, put it like this: we haven't left the state of Florida all off season, pretty much, right? This is going to be our first trip across the coast to the West Coast. I don't know how that dynamic is going to be as far as mentally, physically, how it's going to take a toll as far as wake up time, schedule, routine. So because Seattle still has a formidable team and more than likely they're going to have a good defense with Mike McDonald, I just see us, kind of struggling to get a win in Seattle. And then we jump to the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know. I might be the only one that's like really high on the Cardinals from what I saw early last year. They looked really good last year, man. Even though they lost a lot of games, they were in a lot of games without Kyler Murray. So now that Kyler Murray is back healthy, I just see, something happening to the point of that might be a upset, as far as what we're not kind of looking for. And then obviously LA Rams are going back to the coast. That's going to be a tough game. Green Bay in Green Bay, that's a tough game. And then by the time we get to past Green Bay, I see us going on a little win streak at the beginning of December. Jets, Houston, San Francisco. And then being on that high, I think we might slip up one game against the Cleveland Browns right there for being like.
Well, you got us slipping up 2 games.
But more specifically, that game we're going to slip up, I think, and then the last game I think we're going to sit players because we're already be eligible for the playoffs. So that's how I kind of see that rolling out.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Hey, you never know, right? That's what I'll say for you. All right, Brittney, who's a little bit more optimistic. You know what? I'm disappointed in all of you who chose us to lose to Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, a team that Tua Tagovailoa is undefeated in, undefeated against. I just want to let you know. And I know yours is for resting. I know yours is for resting. But I'm just still saying, you guys are, come on, man. We got to be fighting for the division here. All right. Okay, go ahead, Brittney. You got us losing to Seattle as well. You got the L to Buffalo in their house on week 9. The LA loss, Green Bay loss, and then just like Martin, 2 losses to close out the end of the season, with one of those being because we're resting starters because we've already clinched the playoff spot.
Correct. That's I don't want to take up too much time talking about it.
Oh,
but
no,
I think,
go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it's Seattle is just a long trip for us. I think we have that. We're not winning that one. Buffalo, week 2, actually, I'm nervous about, but I'm manifesting a win for us, because if we're going to beat them this year, it's going to be week 2. I don't think it's happening week 9. Green Bay, I don't have us winning that one. Browns defense is really, really scary. It's week 17. It's there. I don't see us winning that one. That one's going to be rough. And Jets, I just have us losing that one because we're resting all of our players for the playoffs.
I will say kudos to you and Martin for having the confidence in us to beat San Francisco.
It's our turn.
I see it happening.
Yeah, it's our turn to beat them. They're coming to our house.
Because I think this is going to be a San Francisco-Detroit NFC Championship rematch. So shout out to both of you, because I like that. But apparently we can't beat the Jets. Okay. Anyways, Kevin, you got us. Look at all you choosing us to lose to Seattle. I'm texting each and every one of you when we beat Seattle and Geno Smith. You got us losing to Seattle in week 3. You got week 9. I think we're all pretty much agreed this week 9 game ain't going to be positive. You got the LA loss as well. You got the Green Bay loss. You got the Cleveland loss. And I think this is actually, what were you last year? Weren't you 11-6 last year? I think this is actually one of your best records you've had for them since you've been on these roundtables.
Yeah, this is the most wins I've given them.
Yeah.
I was at 11-6 last year.
Yeah, I remember that. Thoughts on our losses here?
Yeah, so I just played the numbers with this. If you look at the Dolphins under McDaniel, they're 7-12 in road games. So that's a 370 winning percentage. So if you math that out over 9 road games, I'll even round up and give us 4 wins. So I took 5 road losses there. The Cleveland game is mostly because it's going to be cold. They're 0-7 with McDaniel as head coach when it's 40 or below. I have them bucking that trend in week 18 against the Jets, just because I think the Jets will be in some sort of disarray by then. So
it's destined. I agree.
That's my gut feeling. But and then the Seattle one, just kind of a letdown after big win in week 2, long travel, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Here's a question. Does Skylar Thompson win that week 18 game?
I think he might play in the game.
Okay. I just wanted to know if we had a QB1 controversy that everyone's talking about.
No.
Okay. All right. So 12. Look at this. See the optimism starting here. I like this. Dougley, you have us at 12-5 as well. You have them starting off like 7-0. Heading into Buffalo, and then back-to-back losses, and then Green Bay, San Francisco, and Cleveland. Give me your thoughts on how you've laid this out, and also I want your thoughts, because I've seen a lot of you choosing Green Bay. Do you think Jordan Love builds on the season he had last year?
That's what. See, it's hard to decide the end of the year picks for me, because like Cleveland, I put the loss there because It's in Cleveland. It's cold. That's the game where the Dolphins really need to show who they are. But will Deshaun Watson be playing? How much of Cleveland will be healthy? Same thing with San Fran. I put the L for Green Bay because it seems like the first half of the season, Jordan Love kind of slugs along, and then the second half, he kind of picks it up. So that's why I put that L there. I'm one of the first to put the Washington W because I think people forget we played Buffalo on Thursday night, so we get an extra 3 days to head over West Coast to Seattle. So that's why I think we win that one. And the back-to-back losses to Buffalo and the Rams, I think it's just back-to-back road trips. You're in Buffalo, and then, you get an extra day to head to LA to face the Rams. But, I think the Rams are going to be sneaky good this year. But the end of the season, they could easily flip. But I do think that if the Dolphins play to their potential and play as they should, they definitely can start, 7-0. And after the bye week, the Dolphins are going to get Chubb back. They'll get OBJ back. They'll get Cam Smith. They'll get all these guys back, and they'll be even better. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility to start 7-0, but I'm hoping.
I like it. I think, why I like this too? Because if we start off that good, they're making a move at the deadline.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that intrigues me. What are they going to do? So, I don't think that's far-fetched because guess what? Richmond has the same exact thing as well. Richmond has us starting off, 7-0, losing to Buffalo, losing to LA, Green Bay. He's got us taking the L at Houston. You'll be at that game, right, Richmond? And then you have us losing to New York as well. And I'm guessing you have us losing to New York because we're benching starters with 12 wins.
Well, if we have 12 wins, I don't have a problem as long as we got the division wrapped up. But if it's a position where, we can get that 1 or 2 spot, I say we got to play our starters. So, I think that'll be determined by that time. But, I think the Dolphins, they should be in pretty good shape. Like you say, we play Buffalo the second game. It's at home. I think we win that game, and then we get the rest. Just kind of like what Dudley said, taking that Seattle trip out there. It's a long flight, but you got like almost 10 days before you play another game, so everybody gets rested up. And I think we should beat both Tennessee and New England, and then after the bye week, we should have Odell back by the end, which kind of kicks in another little component for us. And then Buffalo up there is always tough, and if we beat them the first game, it's a division rivalry, so I got to split with Buffalo. The Rams, we've had a couple of close games with them. So since we got to go out there, we got like a three game road trip. So I said Buffalo and the Rams. I said that it'll be a close game, but I think we might end up losing that game. And then Green Bay is just the thing that's really concerns about the Dolphins is how healthy and how sustainable our offensive line is. I'm not so much worried early on, but if we start having injuries in the second half, I think that can definitely impact the way we finish up the season. So that's why you see me with a lot more losses on the back half of the second half of the season. I'm just what we got now. I just don't think we have a lot of depth, and I'm just that still concerns me in the back of my mind. But guys, losing to Green Bay. I took Houston only because D'Amico and McDaniel were at the 49ers together, and that's going to be a chess match, and he's a pretty good defense coordinator, and they're supposedly supposed to be a hot team, so I gave the edge to them, and then we finish up. I think we beat the 49ers this year. It's time for the pupil to, get that W against his mentor. Mm-hmm. And then the Jets is always one of those games that's up there. It can either go right or it can go wrong. I've played in MetLife, and it's just one of those jinxy places. So I put an L there a bit. Yeah, that's kind of my thought process on this season.
Listen, you're a little bit more optimistic than a lot of us up here because you also have them trotting into Cleveland and whooping that ass in week 17. So, I mean, like, hey, I like it. I ain't gonna hear any pushback from me. A lot of you with the Green Bay game, though. Oh, wait till I get to my prediction. It's time to remind y'all. Neal, You have us again, another 7-0 start, not losing to Buffalo, but you also have us beating the Rams, which a lot of us actually don't have. You have us taking that L to Green Bay. Like Richmond, you have us taking an L to Houston. No sophomore slump in Houston for Stroud. You have us losing 3 in a row.
That's rough.
And basically being 11-5 and going in to New York. I'm guessing you think we start our starters on maybe some divisional. We're chasing the division or something with that 12th win. Your thought process on this record that Brittney just called rough.
Well, here's 2003 is when I started creating Dolphins content on Dolphins message boards. So that's half my life ago. And last year was the first time during that time that I ever predicted the Dolphins would go to Super Bowl. So I labeled 2023 as the season that I call You Let Me Down. 2024, I'm labeling the season Prove Me Wrong. And what I did here is the teams they should beat, I have them beating. What they haven't been able to do, win in cold places on the road late in the season, I have them losing. And, it's one of those things that I need to see it. Like I have them 12-5. I have them winning the division. I guess that's the good news. The bad news is I still think there's a large gap between them and teams like the Chiefs and Ravens, because I still think those teams can beat us up in the trenches when it matters. And I don't think we did much to improve that this year. But, I do have a sweep in the Jets. If you've paid attention to my timeline, I've been at war with Jets fans. When I go to that MetLife takeover in week 18.
You're going?
Oh, yeah. There's a strong chance that I'll be probably throwing hands. I'm going with 3 Irish guys.
I got your back.
This guy.
Throwing hands.
I'm going with 3 Irish guys that like to fight and have nothing to lose. So,
oh, my God.
It's one of those. I honestly don't know if Aaron Rodgers is there, right? Like, I'm not trying to be a smart ass. That's a long season. Just like I'm saying the Dolphins have to prove it, I got to see Aaron Rodgers make it through an entire NFL season at 41 years old, coming off an Achilles as well. So, I actually think it's a season where we exercise the demons, and you can see, we win the division. We take that from the Bills. I think we can win a playoff game, but, it depends on what you view as a good season. I guess that's a good season, but I definitely think that they need to make a move in the trenches. The offensive line is what it is. I don't think, they're going to make a big move. And to be honest, in the big games that we've lost, I think it's been more our star players than the offensive line that has made a lot of those, mistakes and not risen to the occasion. But I think it's going to be a good season, and I really want this team to make that run and prove me wrong. But I gotta not be Homer Simpson here, and I gotta kind of look at it a little bit objectively. So prove me wrong. I'll literally go kill a crow and eat a crow sandwich on a live episode of Fin Too Deep if this team can win a Super Bowl. So I'm excited to see the season start.
I got to say, though, and I think everyone up here could agree with me, if this team from week 13 to 18 only wins 2 games, we're in serious trouble heading into the playoffs.
Right?
So I'm going to tell you this much. You wouldn't be eating a crow sandwich probably on this one. This has the makings of a first-round exit.
Well, and look at the teams that they play at the end. Like what I see is they're playing, those last 5 games, those are teams that are really strong in the trenches, man. And we talk about this all the time, man. Like I love how the Dolphins have built this team. I think where they failed is to complement the weapons and the Ferraris they have on offense and defense with, the meat and potatoes, those guys in the trenches. Like, I know they had to lose Christian Wilkins because of the cap, but man, you can go find good defensive linemen in drafts, and they just haven't been able to do that. Look, 12-5, I think we'd all be happy. It doesn't look like a good story here. But, I'm trying to be objective here. I think this team is so talented. I think all of us were a little kind of frustrated with how it ended last season. Go out there and prove me wrong, man. That's what I want more than anything in the world. So I think they have the talent. I think Mike McDaniel is going to be the best version of himself, and Tua is going to be the best version of himself. They have the ability to make the run. Let's see it.
I was going to say, clearly you don't think they're going to be the best versions of themselves down that stretch there. Holy God.
They weren't last December either, right?
Well, the problem is Okay, 2 is 9-7 in December. The problem is 2 is 1-3 in January. Okay, so ball game.
Yeah, sir.
Tell us why you have the same record as I do. You got them going 13-4. You have the loss to Buffalo.
Yeah.
You have the loss to Houston. You have the loss to San Fran. And I'm guessing based on your record, because they would be 13-3, you have them benching starters for the Week 18 loss.
I'm shooting for the, you know what I'm saying? I'm shooting for the Raptors with this one because I think overall, man, what this team has everything to be the top team in the league. What they don't have is that mental toughness that is required more so than anything else. You got to be tough anyway to play the game, but if you're not mentally tough, then that takes a whole different element of your success out of the equation. And I think they've recognized that. They brought in guys that talked about it, guys that talked about them as a part of how soft this organization has been when, you know, they get down and things of that nature. And I think that's definitely the trend that they've got to change. For me, these games, I looked at it, I think they sweep this, like the first 7, they sweep those guys because those teams are inferior, in my opinion, and will be at those times inferior to what we're putting on the field. I think Buffalo will be a different animal by week 9, so we'll have to split with them just because they'll be fighting for their rightful place as the big brother back in this situation. But, you know, they got a lot of stuff to sort out as well. For me, I went through and I gave us a loss to teams that I thought were up and coming, like that Houston with D'Amico Ryans down there is going to be a problem, regardless of where they fall on the schedule. That's a tough team. They do a lot of things well that are going to give us a lot of problems, especially when you factor in, like I said, how well they're coached and their mentality. San Francisco, you know, no matter how you stack them up, no matter what people say about it, they're still the cream of the crop in the NFC West. I don't worry about Seattle. I don't think much about the Rams. It's San Francisco that is still the big brother to our little brother, which is Mike McDaniels right now, and I just don't see. At that late in the season with the turnaround of that game coming off of Houston, I mean, I don't think we'll be ready for them just yet. It's still a mind thing, right? That's something Mike's gonna have to conquer at some other period in time later in the postseason if we get to see them and they get past Detroit and we make it as far as we hope they make it. Mm-hmm. The last game was a layup game, but for me, I think this is a realistic space of where I believe this team is supposed to be based on who they have on this team. If you look at the roster, you look at the capabilities of these guys and who they are lining up every day, every Sunday, you know what I'm saying? There's all these other teams on this schedule don't have the pieces to effectively be able to line up with them down after down after down, especially on offense. Defense, you know, with a new captain over there and a new person in charge, I believe that'll come around as well, and they're going to be definitely one of the scariest groups to have to face as we start to get healthy. We know we nicked up right now, but I believe that is a testament to the fact that practice in the off season and through training camp has been physical, right? And the only way you allow yourself to get to a space and time where football becomes physical in nature and physical in the every being of it being physical and you owning that is you got to do it here first, and then you got to tell your body to go do it. And because they're nicked up, I believe that's a direct correlation of them gaining another level of toughness that they're going to need. It is what it is. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So 13-4 is my record because I believe this is what they're achievable. This is what they can achieve based on this schedule against these teams.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, guess what?
Yeah,
I agree. I just don't agree with the same games as you, but
okay.
I too have them going 13-4 because you said something very key. Based on the talent on this roster, this should be the expectation. To me, 12 wins should be the floor for this team. All right. I think, you know, this, if every star aligns perfectly for us, this could very well be a 14-win team. You know, dare I say 15 wins if they stay healthy. Now, we're Dolphin fans. That's about as big of an if as you can ask, right? But so I have them losing to Buffalo in week 9. Again, I can't sit here and say they sweep Buffalo. They should have swept Buffalo in McDaniel's first year, but after what we saw last year, and I agree with you, Buffalo will be a different team by week 9 than week 2. They'll be feeling much more of a pressure. And we saw last year, Buffalo was a better second half of the season team. They started to turn it on a little bit there. That's how they stormed back and took the division. The LA Rams. Now, we haven't beat the Rams since 2020 when we beat them with Tua in his rookie year, but that was an ugly, ugly game, right? In fact, we haven't lost to the Rams since 2001. But I got us losing to the Rams this year, just because I think that's going to be a tough back-to-back schedule. Now, I have us losing 2 of the last 3 games. San Fran, I agree with you. The grasshopper, the apprentice beating the mentor. I don't think it's there yet. And I think San Francisco is a lock to go to the NFC Championship this year. So I think this team is legit. Cleveland, even without Deshaun Watson, we know how good that defense is, and we know how hard it is to win in Cleveland, let alone what the weather could be. But I actually have us beating Green Bay, unlike most of you, because, I go back to that Aaron Rodgers, that last time we played Green Bay where Tua got concussed. I mean, is this Green Bay team that much better than the last one Aaron Rodgers had? I don't think it's that much better. And guess what? Tua was basically running Aaron Rodgers out of the building and before the concussion started. So I think we're going to handle Green Bay. But yeah, I have us going 13-4, and I have us winning the division, and I have us as one of the top 2 teams. So I have us actually getting, home field advantage, which I think is going to be very key for this team as we move forward here. So those are our takes. Those are our predictions. Let me know in the comments below. Who do you agree with? Who do you not agree with? And we know it's Martin, so you don't have to let me know that. But let us know your predictions in the comments and how you think this team will go and what game you think will start. Oh man, sorry, I had to do it like that, Martin.
I know, man. I know.
It's all good. So let's get into this. Let's talk about this season and what we're doing this year. So I'm going to start off with Doug. Doug, give me your boldest prediction. And by the way, I sent you guys all the list. The answer in brackets was my answer. I just forgot to delete it. So if you guys are wondering what the hell is this, what's your boldest prediction for this season?
Since I'm getting out of here in 9 minutes, you want me to just raffle
Run
off all of them?
Run them.
Right.
Spoil the show for everyone. Go ahead.
Bold prediction. I actually agree with your bracket. I think Tua is going to win the MVP this year. The first half of the season, the first 3 months of the past 2 seasons, he was top 4 in the MVP race. I think this year, my bold prediction is he is the league's MVP. Which player is underhyped right now? Ethan Bonner. I think he is underhyped, and I think he's going to do some great things. Who will be the Dolphins' best rookie this year? I'm going to go with Jalen Wright, but I do think Chop is right behind him. Chop just needs to work on his rush defense. Will Tyreek reach 2K if he stays healthy? And I think with Tua coming out and saying we kind of force-fed him the ball, I think they're going to spread it out. But I still think if he plays that Jets game and he was healthy, I think he would have broke 2K last year. Who's my defensive player of the year? I'm going Jalen Phillips. Bounce back year. I think he's going to have 12 sacks. And who's my offensive player of the year? Tua Tagovailoa.
Ooh, not even Reek. I love it. All right. So, Brittney.
Mine was almost identical to Douglie's. All right. So, my boldest prediction, I put us winning the Super Bowl because, come on now, that's what we all want. Underhyped, I actually put no one because I think that we as a fan base are really good at hyping everyone up. So I really don't think that we have any underhyped players. Best rookie.
She just called us all homers. I want everyone in the chat.
I know, right?
Go ahead, Brittney.
Best rookie, I put Chop on defense, Jalen Wright on offense, Tyreek to reach 2,000. I put no, only because the ball is going to be spread out more. Defensive player of the year, I put Jalen Ramsey because I love him. But then I put or JP. And then I said, if it is Holland, we've got issues with our contract coming up. And then offensive player of the year, Tua.
I love it. Richmond, what do you got?
I went a little different. I said Bo's prediction is Dolphins #1 seed in the playoffs for the AFC.
Ooh.
My underhyped player, he's really not underhyped. I'm kind of like Brittney with that, but I put Odell Beckham because he's not there now until he gets back. So I put him. My rookie of the year was Chop Robinson. Tyreek make 2,000. I said no. I kind of agree with Brittney. I think they're going to spread it out, and I still think he'll be somewhere around 1,700 yards. But we got too many weapons. If it happens, cool. But I don't think we need to try to force feed it. I think we just run the offense. I think we do that. Everything will fall in place. My defensive player of the year was Jalen Phillips with everybody, and my offense was Tua.
BallGame, what do you got?
Dolphins will make the AFC Championship.
Okay.
What was the other question? I had them wrote down, but my phone tripping.
Which player is underhyped right now?
Man, I don't think anybody's underhyped. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody's exactly who they are, and I think that the league know that they who they are. So, I don't think, and we don't deal in that. And then who will be the Dolphins' best rookie this year? I'm gonna go with Chop. I think it'll be a combo. It's gonna be a toss up between actually the two young balls and Chop and Kamara. Man, I think they're gonna both do amazing things. And then Tyreek reaching 2,000 now, and I'm glad that they're gonna put that to the side so that Tua can do the best of what he does, which is distributing the ball to everybody. So keep defenses guessing, because when you start trying to hone in on one person, that takes away from the fluidity of the game. So I don't want to see that. And then defensive player of the year, I'm gonna go with Jordan Brooks. I think for the first time we're gonna have somebody that's able to be out there for all 3 downs and go sideline to sideline, and he's gonna bounce back, and he's gonna be able to wreak havoc across the middle of the field and make people not want to throw the ball, in that area. And then offensive player of the year, obviously gonna be Tua, because he's gonna be league MVP. So
next up, let's go, Kevin. What do you got?
Bold prediction. I'll keep my same one from last year. They win a playoff game. The streak ends this year. Let's see. Underhyped right now. Same vein as BallGame, but I'm going David Long instead of Jordan Brooks.
Yep.
Best rookie, I'll go with Chop. Tyreek reaching 2,000, no, but that's just because they got too many mouths to feed. Defensive player of the year, I'll say Javon Holland. And offensive player of the year, Tua.
What do you got, Martin?
Let me think. Boldest prediction. You know how we always have the #1 offense? I'm going to make a bold prediction that we're going to have the #1 defense in this league. Schematically, players. I think we're going to get that. The next one was what, offensive player of the year, or
who is the most underhyped right now?
Underhyped? I'll say Jordan Poyer. His leadership and command of the back of the defense is underrated. I think he might play a significant part in getting us to that #1 overall ranking. So I'm gonna go with Poyer there.
Who's going to be the rookie of the year for the Dolphins?
Rookie? It has to be Chop, because I think he's the only one that's going to have significant opportunities, considering, who's going to be out in his position group, and for the other rookies, who's going to be in their position group. So it's going to have to be Chop. Tyreek Hill would not get 2,000. I'm sorry. I think they've always made it seem as though this is the #1 goal. Tua mentioned it on Dan Le Batard's show that was the case. Now that it's out in the air, I think this gives Tyreek Hill the opportunity to lean back a little bit, slow down a little bit. So I don't think he's gonna have 2,000. Defensive player of the year. Call me crazy, man. I'm going Javon Holland. It's a contract year. I think he wants a contract, even if it's not with the Miami Dolphins. He'll ball. He'll ball out like his rookie year. I see a resurgence like that. And the offensive player of the year, that's a tough one. Can I say Achane? Did somebody say Achane already?
No, you can. Go ahead.
Oh, Achane, man. We about to use him like CMC. You know, this is basically what's gonna happen, man. This guy's gonna be all over the place. Slot. He's gonna be in motion like how we use Tyreek. Sweeps, tosses, goal line. I think we're gonna use Achane on goal line more because he finds holes a lot better than what people think, even though he's undersized for goal line formations. He's gonna go off. I think he's gonna go off this year for sure.
I like it. Neal, what do you got?
Yeah, for bold prediction, I was gonna. Kevin and I were kind of thinking the same thing. I do think we break the playoff win streak, but to be different, I'll pick Chop winning defensive rookie of the year and hitting 10 sacks in his rookie year. When we look at underhyped, one guy that I think is maybe one of the most underhyped signings in the entire league this offseason in Kendall Fuller. I think Kendall Fuller is a really high-end number 2 corner, a drastic upgrade to the shell of Xavier Howard that we had last year. So I think he's going to play some meaningful ball for us and make some big plays. Best rookie, I'm going to stay with Chop. I think Chop's going to put the league on notice pretty quickly. And I know the concerns about him against the run. I don't think the Dolphins are going to put him in a position where he's going to have to worry about stopping the run too much. I think he's going to be all systems go, rushing the passer. When Jalen Phillips is on this pitch count that we've heard, it's going to be Chop spelling him a lot, I think. So Tyreek, I don't even want him to get, to even think about the 2000. I don't think it happens. I think the Dolphins have grown up as a team, and they didn't realize that stupid goal doesn't mean anything if it hampers this team. My defensive player of the year is going to be Jalen Ramsey. I think he is going to be the Swiss Army knife in this defense. His playmaking ability, he had 3 picks and missed half the season last year. This guy can be a game changer. And the games he played, that Raiders game specifically, we got a W practically because of him on the back end. And then my offense, this is boring, but it's Tyreek. Tyreek's so good at receiver. He might be the best defensive player on our team. I don't know. He's so damn good. Like, how do you go against Tyreek Hill, right? I love Tyreek. And I think Tyreek's actually not go. I think what Richmond said, I think he's going to be around that 1,700 yards again. But the Dolphins just have too many weapons, because I'm with Martin. Like, I think Devon Achane is going to have a beast year. I think Jonnu Smith's going to be a sleeper. And we just talked for 47 minutes and no one has mentioned Jalen Waddle. I feel like Jalen Waddle is going to be healthy and determined this year. So that's where you look at this Dolphins offense. If they're going to go
Neal,
that offense.
Hey Neal, can you imagine us not even mentioning Jalen Waddle this entire time? And
I know that is
like probably the best number 2. He might be the best number 2 in the league. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy how much weapons we got.
Well, we all kind of did mention him subconsciously. None of y'all picked Tyreek to get 2K this year, and think of why you don't think he's going to get 2K this year, because we all pretty much agree it's going to be back to 2022 where it's a 1A, 1B between Waddle and Tyreek, right? Like, I think we're going to have a 1,700 yard season for Tyreek, and then you're going to probably have another 1,400 yard season from Waddle, right? So peace out, Doug.
Yeah, and one reason I'll add, I think the biggest play that's going to be made this year is actually going to be made by Odell Beckham Jr. That's my superlative. I think Odell in a clutch situation is going to make a big play. I think the Dolphins are being smart. They're not worrying about winning in September. They're worrying about the back half of the season. We all saw that video of him lifting weights today. I felt good because I could do that with a 50-pound hand weight. He's doing it, with I don't even know what, 225 up on the bar. So I think Odell is the reason we brought him in here. Is the same situation on that Claypool out when Claypool ran the wrong route, Tua threw the pick. It's those moments where you need that guy that can do the dirty work, and I think Odell is going to make a big play that matters in this season.
Okay. All right. So, all right, here's what I think. this is what I've got for boldest prediction. You guys all saw it. Tua finishes top 3 in MVP voting. Which Dolphin player to me is underhyped? I've got 2. First one I'll give you is Calais Campbell. I think he is going to – I don't think it's going to be that steep of a drop-off from him to Christian Wilkins by any stretch of the imagination. I think Calais Campbell provides leadership that we need. I think he's a dog we need. There's a reason why this guy got named a team captain. I'm just saying.
Immediately.
Number 2, this is the most underhyped guy. Benito Jones. He's going to be better than Raekwon Davis, and all of us didn't want us to lose Raekwon Davis. I think we have a legitimate guy who offers you more of a from a pass rush standpoint. I mean, he's especially coming out of college. Benito Jones from that interior, he offers you way more of a pass rush, and he's been getting better as a run defender. He was more of a liability coming out of college as a run defender, but he's gotten better. I think Benito Jones is a more rounded out, better player than Raekwon Davis right now. I think they actually kind of upgraded. Who will be the Dolphins' best rookie of the year? Shame on all of you. No one mentioned Malik Washington, and I am locked in. OBJ is going to be out for the first 4 games. We know Braxton Berrios. He's more focused on TikTok and his TikTok star wife than, getting it done. And it shows up when he's got to catch a football. And I think Malik Washington is going to take a absolute he's going to take it by the reins and turn as our return man. So I think you're going to have explosive plays as a receiver. And, I mean, look at what we saw from him as a returner in the preseason. Did we even see Braxton Berrios flash like that all year as a returner? I didn't see it. So I think Malik is going to be – you know what? I got in my notes here. Malik Washington has a chance to be this year's Puka or Addison.
That's tough. Wow.
I truly believe that. Malik's gonna have opportunities, man, and I think he's gonna show up. And he talked about it that last game of the preseason. His confidence is through the roof right now. Him and Tua have been working on their chemistry since Malik arrived here. Before they even stepped on a practice field together, they were working out together. So I think Malik's gonna have a year. Will Tyreek reach 2K? No. Who is going to be Miami's defensive player of the year? I'm going bold. He's going to prove that you just got to put salt to spice your food. I think Zach Sealer is going to have a big year. I think we're going to look back and we're going to be like, oh my God, he was better than Wilkins. And then because I think Tua is going to finish top 3 in voting, I have to take him as offensive player of the year. So, yeah, those are our bold takes on the season. Let me ask you guys this. Are you I got to go back to this Jacksonville game earlier that we talked about. Are you guys, if Ramsey doesn't play this weekend, are you guys worried?
No.
Too much firepower. Nope.
No, because we have the Bills. Very quick turnaround.
Not even remotely.
Yeah.
Wow. So
we're winning by 10 plus, I think, against Jacksonville with Ramsey or without him. I think the Dolphins at home, they're a different beast. I know Jacksonville's not far and maybe the heat doesn't impact them much. What impacts them a lot is, as good as Tyson Campbell is, he's kind of the lone wolf in that secondary. The Dolphins have a lot of options to hurt you. And to be honest, I think Devon A-Chain early could burn them. The Jacksonville, look, I'll say what it is. For all the defending that we've had to do for Tua, there's not enough notice on Trevor Lawrence not living up to his hype.
Right.
Yeah. Did you see that stat of like
turnovers, man?
Yeah, I think it wouldn't surprise me if we absolutely mollywopped them and like embarrassed them, and we had the biggest win differential of the week. And it's not, I just don't believe in Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's drafting top 10, and I think we're a horrible matchup.
This man said they drafted top 10.
God damn.
Yeah, I think I have them as a 7-win team.
Really? 7 wins?
Yeah, I don't like Jacksonville.
You're the Martin of the Jacksonville Jags fan base. Look at you.
They're definitely not the best team in that division. That's for certain.
Well, reason I texted you earlier today, I totally forgot that they had lost Calvin Ridley this offseason. Like I was
right to the
but
Titans.
they got Gabe Davis.
Huge.
Gabe Davis.
That ain't the same.
But Brittney, what'd you say about Trevor Lawrence stat line?
The stat you're gonna name a stat.
Did you guys see Warren Sharp? I'm like trying to pull it up right now because I will mess it up. He's 1-18 when his defense doesn't record a takeaway.
Oh, geez.
Damn.
Yeah. 1-18.
Football.
He's the worst record for any quarterback. He's also lost 21 fumbles the last 3 seasons. Worse in the NFL. No other quarterback even has 15, let alone over 20.
Right.
So, yeah.
Turnover.
That's
Warren Sharp.
That's like saying where's your nuts, man? You know.
Right?
I'm sorry.
That's bad.
Okay. Man.
So let me ask you guys this then. Is the Herbert Tua debate over right now? Because I saw this being talked about on the timeline today. Is it over for you guys right now? Like, is it Tua is clearing him right now, and really Tua only has to leap the Joe Burrow hurdle? Is that where you guys are at right now?
For sure.
It's been over for me.
It was never a thing.
Neal's smiling like the village jester over here. What are you thinking, bro?
Look, the only reason it was a debate is when you have nothing to play for, right? Like that's what you try to pick these little side battles. Like the Chargers, another team, 7-8 wins max for me on them. We're definitely going to be contending for a division, hopefully playoff run. Like, you know, for all those little superlatives, you know, give me, you know, I've said this, man, you win a Super Bowl for me and you're on Marino status instantly, right? Like, and that's not a knock on Dan. I love Dan. But like that, you know, that to me, winning matters. And you pick those little battles about the class. Like there's a world where both those quarterbacks are good players. I just think Tua's on the team right now that actually matters in the NFL. And the Chargers with Harbaugh, look, in a couple years, we're going to be talking about them because I think Harbaugh will fix the ship there and build it the right way. But right now,
will Herbert be the quarterback when he fixes it, bro?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of JJ this offseason. So
yeah. Shout out to Daryl. He says, can't wait for the first game and talking trash to opposing fan bases I hate. I pray the Finns stay healthy and make this season one to remember. Caddyshack says, let's be honest, Jacksonville's a lock because Kevin Harlan is on the call. Love the roundtable, everyone. God's Child says this is the season we torch our way into the playoffs and weld our way out of the first round, Super Bowl bound. So God's Child obviously works in the metal industry and is a welder of some sort. Russell says, bold prediction, Malik Washington wins Offensive Rookie of the Year.
That'll be crazy.
That's so bold, I put it on my steak. Holy jeez. Malik Washington, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and underhyped. A $50 bomb from John C. He says, you guys are underhyped. Great show.
Aww.
Appreciate you, John C.
John.
And in memory of Richmond Webb, who's still with us, John C. also donated $78 because that's Richmond's number and said, love seeing you all guys together. Great content as always. Here's a 78 for my man, Richmond Webb. Look at this movie star, eh? I bring on a movie star and I start getting all. Look at this.
You're trying to start it.
Bro, when you were talking about Marino walking onto that field and how it was his day,
it wasn't
what
me,
did you say? You said something. What did he say? I remember he said it, and I was like, "Oh, this is." I'm like, it sounded like that's that Finish Line podcast. What did you say? You said something like, "Oh man, I forget what you said. I should have wrote it down." But you said something to the effect of like, you know, Marino wasn't having it that day or like whatever it was, because you just said Marino wouldn't lose. Like he wasn't taking an L no matter what. So that was absolutely hilarious. It was great stuff. I mean, shout out to the fish tank. That was really good. All right. Let's go through. We got some final thoughts. We got over 500 people watching on YouTube right now. Thank y'all for spending some of your Wednesday evening with us. Let's go through final thoughts. Let's start with Kevin and work our way.
Final thoughts. I think my biggest prevailing thought is first 5 opponents, you've got 4 new defensive. Well, I think 5 new defensive coordinators, 4 of them playing a new defense. So I think the offense will pretty much carry them to the bye. I think there's going to be some lag on the defense, especially until you get Phillips back to what he was last year, and then you get Chubb back at some point. I don't know if I trust the entire coaching staff on the defense to kind of get them where they need to be. But I think if they can round into that in the middle of the season, they'll win that playoff game.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Jason Stamps. He said he'll donate in honor of Barrios. Appreciate you, sir. Neal, your final thoughts, brother.
Yeah, thank God Dolphin season's back. It's always great to be on this panel with everybody. I always like some of the things the community's doing, and not to call him out because he's up here, but I think it's awesome, this push to get Richmond the gold jacket that he deserves, and some of the events that we're going to have this year. I'm excited. I never told Richmond this. When I was in 4th grade, a guy named Ron Silver, who's my lifelong friend, scored a 1990 score rookie card of Richmond Webb, and I stole $2 out of my dad's wallet to buy it from him back in 4th grade. So I was hustling for a Richmond Webb rookie card back in 4th grade, man. So it's well overdue. Not only were you a tremendous football player, man, but you've been such a good ambassador of the team. You're so great, man. I would love to see this come to fruition. When we saw it happen with Zach, I thought it was special. You look like a guy that would look good in gold to me, man. So I would love to see that happen here. And I love that the community's coming together and rallying around you, man. You deserve it.
Yeah. I'm going to curse his name when I have to make the trip to Canton, though. I'm going to tell you that much. I never thought I'd ever step foot in Canton, but here we go. What's there to do in Canton outside the Hall of Fame? Sit in your hotel room?
There's Skyline Chili.
There's a bar called the Lincoln Lizards that has like 65 different bombs you can take. I did some parties.
Neal wants to get hammered. Is what
he's like, I know what I'm doing.
The closest bar.
And Kevin's getting ready to tell y'all about the deal with Skyline Chili because
I heard Brittney mention it, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I gotta try that, man. I'm telling you, man.
There's no in between. You either love it or you hate it. No,
how much cheese? They put like 3 pounds of shredded cheese on those things.
Not enough.
I asked for extra cheese. Like I order it with extra cheese because there's just.
It's got to taste good on a hot dog though. A chili dog's got to be fire. No,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
The vet move though is to get rid of the hot dog and just get double chili and do a chili cheese sandwich.
Damn,
never done that.
Yeah,
brother.
Chili cheese.
Then you're punishing the porcelain for the rest of the week, bro. Jesus
Christ. Worth
it. That's what I say every time before I eat Taco Bell, and it's not worth it. You know what I mean? But Martin, your final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, man. We're here again. Finished how I started, man. We're here. We're finally done with the off season, with the preseason. And now the games matter, and you want your best. You want to play your best, but at the same time, you have to realize that you're going up against other professionals as well. So it's going to be one of those seasons, man, where you just have to anticipate. You have to anticipate what's going to happen, bro. You have to anticipate. The highs. You have to anticipate the lows. And it's up to us really not to get too fed into narratives anymore. It's just a game by game basis. So let's dive into this, man, and let's just have a fun season, man. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. See, Brittney, don't you feel like I feel dirty walking up and saying I want a 3-way with some extra cheese? You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
I hope they hand me a plate of chili. I hope that's what it is. You know what I mean?
You gotta work your way up to the 4-way and the 5-way.
They do.
You do it.
Which are real things.
A 4-way, I think, has onions, right?
Yeah, 4-way is the spaghetti noodles, chili, and cheese, and you can get onions or beans. 5-way is onions and
all
beans.
Of it. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't do onions or beans, just the 3-way.
And you guys eat it on noodles, right?
Yeah.
Brittney's a simple girl, all right?
You got to do a.
This makes it like chili on noodles feels like the Mungie cake version of spaghetti. You know what I mean?
The thing of it is, everyone Southwest chili. This is Greek chili. It's got cinnamon, paprika. There's like cocoa powder in it. It's spiced. It's not what you're thinking it is.
Yeah, gotcha. Brittney, your final thoughts?
Gosh, just so happy that football is back, and gosh, we survived the off season. This was my first off season, like actively involved in Dolphins Twitter and this space and everything. So this was interesting. Make sure you check out Sideline Tea. We have an episode dropping this Friday with Marcel, and we have like a pretty stacked month. So it's going to be exciting things going on.
Who else do you have on coming this month, Brittney?
I feel like I shouldn't say it.
You've already announced it, though, basically.
No, I haven't.
Might as well spill the tea.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, but I don't have my girls up here with me. If they were here,
you got one
like
in the chat, and you got 500 people
but
watching.
Mary's not here. No, I'm not. I'm gonna. No, it has to be the three of us.
Here.
It has to be a three-way with extra cheese.
It has to be a three-way. Yeah.
Wink, wink, wink.
I will say that next week it's rival week, so we do have somebody from a big content creator from Bill's Mafia coming
on.
Fox says spill the tea, but she put it back in the bowl, brother. It ain't happening. BallGame, your final thoughts.
So we are here, and I think the one thing that this team has always been questioned about is their mental toughness. Football is still football in the NFL to some degree. They've toned down a lot of different things and made the game a little less physical, but it's still a physical game. But I believe this team needs to be mentally physical in their approach to accepting all that comes along with being professionals. And I think that's the one thing that's holding them back. You know, we can all say that, you know, we look at the roster top to bottom in terms of the skill positions. I don't think there's many teams out there that can match up with us. I think what sets apart Kansas City is their mental toughness. They accept the dirty work. They don't mind doing the dirty work. If Pat Mahomes is having a bad day, they don't mind handing the ball off to angry man Pacheco, and everybody gets involved in ensuring that they get on their blocks and that, you know what I'm saying, they bludgeon you to death with the run game until Pat gets into his rhythm. That's what we have to develop. And Andy's okay with that, and Mike has to become okay with that too. If Tua's not on, run the rock. And if the running game's not going, stick with it until it breaks, right? Just don't abandon it too soon. For me, I think this comes down to just being better at the X and O's and going out every Sunday and feeling and knowing deep within your core that you're better than the team across from you, and don't give them a chance. Once they accept that for what it truly is and they live up to who they are in terms of their physical abilities, sky's the limit for this squad. And I'm hoping that in Mike's third season that they all agree to just let him hang, man. And excuse me, Brittney, but you know what I'm saying, that's what it comes down to. They gotta let him hang, man.
Right.
Man up and let him hang.
Fearless. Be fearless.
Listen, fake spike. I'm sure Skyline Chili is better than an Italian pig feet sandwich, but I will not take fruit punch soda slander because Tahiti treat is absolutely elite.
Italian
and if you never had
pig feet sandwich sounds. Why is this? Why is it? Is this a thing? Reason? Do you eat this?
Is. No, I didn't. What do I look like? An animal? No, I don't eat that. But chicken feet are popular too, right? Chicken feet are super popular too.
Yeah,
I don't eat them.
Louisiana.
Pigs and we know what pigs and chickens walk through all day. You can clean that till the cows come home. I'm sorry, I ain't touching that. And another thing about pig, what people don't realize,
they're dirty.
Well, they don't have
sweat glands.
They don't have sweat glands. They sweat through their hooves, right? They sweat through their feet. That's where they like
hold
an
in all
ooze
their
comes
toxins.
out.
Exactly.
Yeah, it all comes out through their feet.
And they eat
I ain't eating that. Are you kidding me? You guys are nuts.
Wait, what is fruit punch soda? I've never.
So, like, have you ever had like Tahiti treat?
No.
How different is that than Hawaiian punch?
Yeah.
Tahiti treat is like Tahiti treat is elite. Like Drake always sings about it because you got to get imported now. But like Tahiti treat's like freaking elite. It was my favorite. It was one of my favorite pops as a kid, but now because I have to get it imported, I have to call someone like a town over, and it costs me like $25 for a 12-pack. But it's like freaking elite. It's carbonated. It's like carbonated fruit punch, but like unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. It's crazy. If I ever go into I've gone into the hospital a few times as an adult, And you know how like you don't eat stuff or whatever the case may be is, and that's been what I've craved when I've got out is Tahiti treat. It's crazy. It's amazing. It's elite. Richmond, final thoughts, brother?
Appreciate everybody that tuned in, listened to us tonight. Also, all the kind words, the donations, and all that means a lot. And I'm looking forward to going down and hanging out with the fans and stuff like that. It means a lot when people kind of recognize what you did and then come together for an effort to try to get you to push to get you some recognition that everybody feels you deserve. So I'm definitely appreciative of that. As far as this season, I think like everybody, it's football season again. That's over, but for this team, I think the one word for me is expectation. I just remember how last season ended, and I think they remember how it is just being a player. And I think you just want to hone in and just focus and just say, hey, we know we don't want to put ourselves in that position based on we had an opportunity to be in a much better position. But, to our own doing, we kind of sabotage ourselves. So that will be my thing for this season is just expectation and staying focused and just remember, take it one game at a time. I think we had a talent. I think we got what we need, but it's a mindset thing. And then, the players do their part, the coaches do their part. And I think we're going to be some real happy fans. So I'm looking forward to it.
Appreciate all you guys for joining me today and taking some of the time out of your schedules to come on. It was a great show, great conversation. Obviously, you can catch Richmond and BallGame every Wednesday on the channel. For the Finish Line, me and Neal every Thursday, except tomorrow. You can catch us for Fin Too Deep. Martin, you can catch here every Tuesday for Two Tuesdays, and we do panels like this. And then Kevin Dern, you can catch his weekly podcast on Dolphins Talk. And then Brittney, you can catch with Jennifer and Mary over on Sideline T. And they got a good lineup of guests coming up over the next couple weeks. So make sure you check them out. Appreciate each and every one of you again for coming through tonight. Over 500 of you in the chat. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. And we will see y'all on the next one. Until then, as always, fins up. Have a fantastic evening.